Halloween!
So, Phoebe, do you believe in hauntings?
I do. I even get a little creeped out listening to it. Like, I'm the type, I don't watch a house about scary hauntings. Like, I might go watch it at a theater, but I won't bring it into my home and watch it. My hair looks really funny like this.
Welcome to the podcast where we talk about cannabis.
Community violation. Code Green Plant.
Hello, and welcome to Code Green Plant, the scary Halloween edition. As you can see, we are dressed up today to celebrate
Halloween!
Yes, and I don't know if they can tell who we are.
Surely they can.
Well, you'd think so, but I do want to tell you one thing about that. Oh, look at you! So cute!
I don't know if you can see my socks too. Probably not. I gotta get further away.
Well, I mean, I'm not. I'm just, you know.
Oh, I love it! You gotta stand up to see it good.
Yeah.
Okay, so me and you together. Come on, people. You gotta know who we are.
Well, here's the funny thing. I'm getting ready, okay? I don't have this green thing on yet, okay, this scarf. And so I walk out. Trevor knocks on my door. I walk out. And he's like, oh, wow. And I'm like, oh, do you know who I am? He goes, yeah, you're Grimace.
Oh, I know you wanted to choke him.
I don't know if he's 15, so I don't know if he's too young to know. And Grimace is a fad thing. It's, it's everywhere. So I'm not going to take
got the shakes,
much,
yeah.
I'm not going to take too much offense, but I mean, he's not wrong. I could see
maybe
this totally
he meant it like you look
outfit.
like a milkshake. That's not a bad thing.
Couldn't you see this as a Grimace outfit? I could. If I took this off.
No.
And then, I mean.
You got the red hair even? Come on. No. I think it's just his generation. He doesn't. Maybe he was in that weird where he didn't know the characters. Because you remember it was like popular when we were kids. Yeah. Then there was a time it wasn't really. And see, now it's back popular again. They have remakes and everything. So he was kind of in between there where they might not have known who Scooby-Doo is and
Stop
Velma
making
and
excuses
Daphne.
for him. But it is what it is. I was driving today on the way here in the car, and he's like, oh, look, Mikey's mom. And I'm like,
oh, no, you look cute.
Who am I? What's her name?
Daphne.
Daphne.
Hello?
I keep wanting to call her your name.
Oh, okay.
Daphne from Scooby-Doo. And then you are?
Velma from Scooby-Doo.
But you, man, you look great. You
Thanks.
look really, really good.
I was excited. I loved Scooby-Doo growing up, and I was pretty excited to pull this off so well. You got the wig and everything.
Yeah, you look fantastic. So, Phoebe, do you believe in hauntings?
I do. I even get a little creeped out listening to it. Like, I'm the type, I don't watch a house about scary hauntings. Like, I might go watch it at a theater, but I won't bring it into my home and watch it.
I will say this. I heard something recently, and it kind of made sense to me. I mean, everybody has their own beliefs and in everything in this world. But for me, somebody said it's not necessarily people that are haunting. It's bad energy that stayed back from the traumatic events that caused it to stay here. It's an energy that we all give off. But positive energy and good energy can also do the same thing. So, yeah. Just my own little take on things. I still don't want to be near a tragic event with hauntings or bad energy. Doesn't matter what it is. It still freaks me out a little bit. But yeah. So anyway, I'm interested. I definitely want to hear about supernatural and stuff like that. Because we all know, if anybody's been listening to this podcast for a while, we all know that Phoebe loves aliens, so she's into that kind of stuff too. And I wouldn't call that supernatural,
especially
but honestly,
phenomena and unexplained phenomena.
Yeah. That's a really good phrase for it. All right, so Scooby-Doo, Phoebe.
Yeah.
Let's talk why we chose these outfits today.
Well, the funny thing is, I just went online and was looking for something that we could dress up as together. Christy, we did that last year at work, kind of a little, it matched, it made sense. Last year we were both pink ladies, very cute. And I really just wanted to find something we could do again that kind of made sense as us together as a pair. I ended up just looking at cartoons, and I just saw it because, like I said, I love Scooby-Doo growing up. And I just was like, ooh, that'd be cute. And Chrissy already has the red hair. It's perfect. She doesn't even need a wig. And so I sent it to you. And you're the one actually that said, it makes total sense, and we could do it on the podcast. Like, I forgot the connection between Scooby-Doo and cannabis. It was not on purpose. This wasn't really by design. It was just because I love Scooby-Doo, and I jumped at the, I get to be Velma. This is awesome. And then you tied it to cannabis, and I was like, oh yeah, duh. Like, no wonder I loved him growing up. No.
I know, right?
No, I had no idea that growing up, but now as an adult, I'm like, oh, Scooby was in that mystery. I know what they were doing in the mystery machine.
Wasn't there smoke on some of them that were actually coming out of the van?
Yeah, I think so.
I think there is. And so Shaggy is the one that obviously is the stoner in the...
Shaggy and Scooby. His dog, did
Scooby smoke out?
I would imagine he was shotgunning them a little bit, or just being together in the same space. They never really rolled the windows down, so they were in there hotboxing.
Yeah, hotboxing.
And Daphne and Velma, of course, we wouldn't actually hit it, but we probably hotboxed a little bit too. No, I don't know.
We were looking for the scary people and monsters. Today, I figured we could talk about some things that do relate to cannabis, and so we tried to find a good topic that would connect the two. The costumes were obviously just ironic. It was meant to be. But the other part, I noticed that there are a lot of bags and edibles in the cannabis industry that are almost aimed at kids. So that's I get, the pretty packaging, the bright colors, I get all of that. But when it looks like a bag of Skittles, I'm thinking that's a problem. I mean, even for anybody, even for older people that are just like, oh, candy, you know what I mean? It's causing a problem, causing a stir. What did you find on it?
I just found, about cannabis edibles grows, so does the risk for children. And I found some statistics, me, of course, about, kids getting a hold of it. But it's just, it is crazy when you think about it. They have products that look like Doritos and Skittles. And I know Nerds is a big one. Like, whenever you go into an edible shop, there's always things that, like you said, it's candy. Mm-hmm. And that's what kids want, and that's what they like. And so parents, responsibility. Be responsible with this stuff when you have it in your home. Keep it, up and away, because, it's crazy.
Absolutely. I mean, I think that's, you take for granted that you put it out there, and a toddler or anyone. And cannabis is dangerous to children. A lot of people think, oh, whatever, they'll sleep it off. No, that's not the case. It's dangerous. Kids their brains are still forming, and you don't want to give them any kind of drug like that. And I say drug, it's a natural plant, yes. But still, it does cause different changes in the body. And although these changes are good for most adults, they are not good for children. And so until you're finished growing and your brain is forming, the research does not suggest that kids take it. There are exceptions. There are epilepsy and different things like that, but they will be fine-tuned so that it helps and doesn't harm. But if you have a bag of Skittles that are edibles laying on the counter, that's not created for your child. It's just not.
No. Some of this stuff I saw between 2017 and 2019, there were 4,172 cannabis exposure cases in kids under the age of 9, and 46% of those were associated with THC edibles. It seems like that could induce a panic disorder in a child. Yeah. They have some type of panic attack from it, and then that's something that might carry on for life. They have that. Just because it won't kill your child doesn't mean it's okay and they'll sleep it off. It's horrible, and it could cause traumatic, long-lasting effects.
It absolutely could. So if you take anything away from this episode, please put your edibles away. High up, behind something, in a safe possibly, wherever your child cannot get it. So that's our disclaimer and PSA for today.
Yeah, I'll say the good thing is there's some groups trying to set regulations and guidelines, for packaging and products. So hopefully that can happen.
Mm-hmm.
Make changes in industry so that they won't confuse it with something like that. Make it look gross, We're going to take it regardless. The adults are going to want it. They want it for the benefit, not the packaging.
Well, okay, but all right. So,
devil's advocate.
Well, I mean, I do know when I went into a dispensary, I was more drawn towards the product that got, brighter. or it looks familiar. To me, if I see something and I'm like, oh, okay, well, I connect this with being a positive thing that I like, and now I'm going to look at it on a shelf and it's going to look similar to something that I like. So, of course, I'm going to be more drawn to it.
But if there was a regulation and they didn't have that difference, they all had to be kind of the same level playing field, you wouldn't be drawn to one because they all look similar.
Yes. Yeah.
You know? So it's things like, that was me joking, saying to make it look gross. But the things they're saying is just like take plain packaging that's not attractive to kids, clear warning labels, and, restricting the amount in an edible so that if they do happen to get it, it won't be so much of an overdose or so much of an issue, I guess. Mm-hmm. And then also changing the language, like you can't use the word candy, gummy, snack, things like that. Those are some of the proposals.
Okay. I didn't even think about that.
Yeah.
Are they using the word candy?
Yeah. I mean, nerds.
What?
Yeah. And then some of these brands like Cheetos, Hot Cheetos. There's Hot Cheetos edibles. Like, what kid doesn't love? My son loves Hot Cheetos. If I had a bag of those laying around, oh yeah, he'd plow through them. So that's where no Moss. We don't. I would never buy a product like that and have it in my home just because I'd worried he would find it. I would know. But yeah.
And I think we're going to get a little help in this department because candy brands are filing trademark suits to cannabis copycats.
Wow. Yeah. That might be it right there. Because, I shouldn't say people. I should say these corporations, they don't care so much about kids, but they do care about their money. And if they're getting sued for copyright and trademark, they will have to stop. So that's a good thing.
Well, candy companies are fighting back against cannabis-infused knockoffs. So Wrigley is the latest brand to file lawsuits attempting to end the sale of edibles like THC-laced Skittles and Starburst. So this was an older article. This was from 2021, but I have seen recent ones, and I think they cover what you just brought up, which is the Cheetos, the Hot Cheetos. I think that they're copying the, what is he, Cheetah guy.
Chester Cheetah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Chester. Yeah. And I think that they're ripping that off, plus the orange bag and stuff like that. But yeah, so they're starting to fight back, and that can only benefit the public, honestly, in my opinion.
Okay, yeah.
For sure. The Federal Trade Commission and the U.S. Food and Drug Administration on Wednesday jointly announced cease and desist letters that have been sent to 6 companies marketing edible products with Delta 8, a component of cannabis, in packaging that regulators said is most identical to snacks and candy children eat. They demand that companies stop marketing these products in a way that imitates conventional foods. So now the government's getting involved. And, it's a twofold thing when the government gets involved, if I can be completely honest with you. In this area, I think it's good. I do think it will create some obstacles that people aren't doing that, and companies that aren't doing that will have to jump through, and that is always an issue, especially if you're a smaller company and you're not doing that, but you still have to jump through all these extra hoops now just to get your product out there. So I guess we'll see. I think a lot of people have trouble walking into a CBD store or a dispensary for the first time because they're afraid of the judgment, or they just don't know enough about it and they're overwhelmed. I'm thinking this is extremely common, especially in states where it's not legal to have cannabis yet. So it's more of a hemp product. So for people like us in Texas, it's a new thing. And we don't have it like California does, where they can walk and smoke weed in front of a police officer. That is not happening here in Texas. A CBD store is kind of curiosity for us here in Texas. Like, okay, well, what is this about? And I know it can't be as good as cannabis. You know what I mean? It can't be good as weed, which is the same thing. It's just a different THC level. You have people on one side of it saying this isn't going to be any good. And then you have some people on the other side saying, oh my God, I can't believe there's a CBD dispensary in my neighborhood. You're bringing the neighborhood down, So you have both sides of the ball here on that. But I would say it's not just to get you high. And I think that kind of stigma is what needs to be broken first before we can get to the other side. They need to realize there's something else here to help you and not just to make you high eating a bag of chips on your couch watching a movie. There's more to it. I know going into a dispensary for me for the first time was hard. I was able to do it. I mean, because there's a part of me that's like, okay, good, let them think that, but I'm weird. So I like to get involved in things that I think are controversial. As long as they don't hurt anybody, I'm good with it. So I know we were able to make the connection with Scooby-Doo. I mean, with the van and the hotboxing and, all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
What other characters were you able to find? Anyone else?
Okay. Yeah, I was. So this is a list I found, and it's 15 cartoon characters who were never seen smoking marijuana, but were most likely stoners. The first on the list, of course, is Shaggy from Scooby-Doo. Number 2 is Scooby from Scooby-Doo. But number 3, someone I had never thought of like this, but reading it's like, oh yeah, Patrick Star from SpongeBob SquarePants. It says that he spent the majority of his time eating and sleeping, and when he wasn't doing that, he'd be seen making very stupid observations about the world. Sounds like your stereotypical stoner to me.
Okay, I can see it. I can definitely see it. Okay.
Okay. The next one is Crush from Finding Nemo. Are you guys...
Wait, which one is
surfer?
Which one is he?
He's a big turtle, and he's got the...
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Makes
for sure.
sense. Mm-hmm. This one I'm not familiar with. Sheen Estevez from The Adventures of Jimmy Neutron. Are either of you familiar
Jimmy Neutron. I know Jimmy Neutron, but I don't know which one Sheen is.
He's a little... He looks like he's got a buzz. I'm not familiar with him. It says he was silly and always lost in his own imagination. He had very distinct stoner energy. Another one, which is pretty funny, Garfield. I can only imagine because he was always eating and sleeping. And
okay, I had a big round Garfield clock.
Did you?
I did.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
Another one we have is Daria from Daria.
MTV.
Yeah.
MTV.
Yeah, we are getting into some MTV people now, which is like a little more obvious. Beavis and Butthead. I feel like that's a little more obvious.
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. Another one is Ed, Ed, and Eddie. That's another I'm not familiar with. It says there's no chance that these 3 weren't baked on the show. Okay, the next one we have is Brian from Family Guy, which I think he's actually been seen doing it. I feel like the dog.
Okay,
the Family Guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, the white dog.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, and then the last one I'll mention is... Oh no, there's 2 more. Grandpa Phil from Hey Arnold, and I'm not aware of him. Is
I
anybody
am.
Hey Arnold? Grandpa
I
Phil?
know Hey Arnold. Yes,
I guess he makes remarks about losing his brain cells back in his youth, and apparently grew up in Woodstock.
Okay,
so
I want to go
sense.
watch an episode now just to kind of get that. All right.
Yeah. Okay, and the last one is Michelangelo from the Ninja Turtles, and I don't back this one. I think he just liked pizza. There's nothing, you can be like, dude, and like pizza and not be a stoner. So I'm going to disagree with that one. I'm not saying him, but I do agree with the others. And it's funny, I'd never guessed that when I was actually little and watching them, but reading it and seeing it from this perspective, like, okay, yeah, probably so.
Is there anyone else you guys can think of on your own that would right now make sense? Okay, so let's think. We got the Rugrats. Obviously, they're babies, so no.
Well, wait. What about Popeye? Maybe his spinach was really
okay.
I don't know. Just a thought. Right. That's all. I just thought of that. Popeye and his eats me spinach,
and he always has a pipe in his mouth. So I mean, maybe that reminds me of The Simpsons. You just because I'm thinking of cartoons. Do you think what do you think about them connecting that everything is happening that they said in the episodes? Isn't that a trip?
That's wild. I don't get that either.
It's massive.
It's just more proof that we're living in a simulation, you guys. That's all it is to me. It's just added in the bag of it. This is all a simulation. That's what I do with that. That's what I do with that little fact.
Well, it's got to be something to it. I mean, how is it that like so many, like we're talking a lot of episodes that say what's going to happen, and then they go back and they play it, and I'm like, what the hell?
Yeah.
This world is freaking crazy, you guys. That's all I have to say.
Yeah,
that is all I have to say.
In 2023, we wouldn't be shocked. Aliens are real, guys. I'm going to say it over and over. And if there's just like, yeah, next, can you move? I'm trying to watch reality shows. I don't care.
If there's not an episode that Phoebe doesn't bring that up, then it's not an episode that we've done.
Yeah, you guys could make it like a drinking game. If I mention aliens, take a shot.
Yeah, I think they should.
Or smoke a, do that.
Smoke a blunt, pop a gummy.
There you go.
Pop a gummy. I think this was a really good episode. I think it'll be one of the shorter ones, which is fine. I'll probably knock it down to like 30, 35 minutes, which is fine. I think that's good.
What we started with.
Yeah, that's what we wanted. We were aiming for, and then we just got longer and longer and longer. Yeah. We just have so much to say.
I also wanted to mention that last night, I had a long week, so I worked yesterday, came home, cooked dinner, and cleaned the house. I clean my house. That's my therapy. And after a long week, that was something I'm cleaning the house Friday night. That's what I want to do. So that puts the week behind me in a way. And I also wanted it done for today. So today I didn't have to wake up and do it. And as people may or may not know, when I clean, I like to listen to a podcast. Put in my AirPods, turn on a good podcast, and I go for it. My husband and son know, just stay in their room, stay out of mom's way, let her get the job done. And Christy Chanel, I go and open up my podcast stream and go to my library and say new. I sort by new to find the newest. And a new Code Green Plant popped up. Mm-hmm. And I know you talked about it and mentioned to me you were thinking about a solo episode. I didn't know you'd actually released it. So it was a surprise to me even.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to do it, but I didn't know it already released. And I'm like, perfect time. I'm about to clean my house. Hit play. Listen to it. It was so good, Christy. Even though I know you. Yes. And it's like I know you so well. We talk every day. We work together. We're in business together. We're really, we're just getting to know each other better and better through this podcast. But I felt like I really understood more on a deeper level your passion for cannabis. It's like I knew it, and I've heard your story, but that solo episode of you being able to just express yourself and just let it flow, I really got the gravity of why it means so much to you. And I get now that every time you talk about it, it makes you feel close to your mom and how much it can help people. And I'm getting goosebumps just thinking about it.
I'm getting a little emotional.
It was really good though. I was proud of you, and it sounded good, and I really enjoyed it. So yeah, I think we're onto something here, man. It's just going to keep growing with what we're doing. But it was really good.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I think, I don't really think of money when I think of doing this. I think of helping people. Maybe changing somebody's life, or giving them an alternative to something. So yeah,
I didn't mean to means a lot. Now you're gonna make me cry.
It's when you do something for the passion and the joy, and you feel like you're serving people in some way, nothing else really matters. So it's like, we may not have 1 million people listening to us, we may not have 1 million people that care about it, but if we had one person who was like, I didn't even know that could do that for me. I can get off this pain pill and try this alternative and maybe save my life. This is all worth it. It's all worth it. So thank you for saying that. I mean, that means more than I really, because it's nerve-wracking. It's really nerve-wracking to put yourself out there and be vulnerable, and yeah.
Yeah, well, you did good. It was good. I enjoyed it. So
thank you.
I'll listen to the next.
I will tell you my topic. I'm going to be recording after this, and my topic is really about mind control, which I know sounds crazy, right?
But I'm digging it.
I know, and but it is, and it's my connection between all of the layers of the things that we're taught when we're younger, and how it really, what's underneath it a little bit. So my son, I was telling him about this and big pharma and everything that I'm passionate about. And he's like, you really should be careful, Mom. And I'm like, I know, I don't want to go missing or die all of a sudden because I'm opening my mouth about something that I feel that people should hear. So I'm going to try to toe the line in the middle and not get too crazy with it, but it's hard not to, you know what I mean? It's hard. Once you cross over to the other side, it's like, wow. It's kind of mind-blowing. All right. Well, thank you for listening. Be sure to hit the subscribe button. If you're watching on YouTube, hit the bell so it reminds you when we're out. And just throw us a comment, send us an email. We'd love to hear from you. Thank you for hanging out with us, and we will see you on Wednesday.
Thanks, guys.
Bye-bye. Okay, woo!
This episode of Code Green Plant was sponsored by Simply Vibin LLC. Code Green Plant is a Simply Vibin production hosted by Christy Chanel along with her co-host Phoebe James. This podcast is not intended to be used for medical advice and is solely the opinion of the host. Please consult your physician. If you enjoyed this episode, please be sure to hit that like and subscribe button, and don't forget to follow us on social media. Want more? Visit www.simplyvibin.com. And a special thank you to the core group of people who helped with the creation of the Code Green Plant podcast. We appreciate you simply vibing with us.
Code Green Plant.